Have you ever wondered how strong the Shockwave Druid is in Project Diablo 2? What's up, gang? It's Noodle again, and today I have yet another wild PD2 build. Wild because nature? Do you get it? Well, the Shockwave Druid really snuck up on me this season, and let me tell you, it exceeded every expectation I had. A generous community member and streamer, DADTAUGHTGAMING, was kind enough to show me the ropes on this build, so do us a favor and check him out on Twitch through the description down below. Now, without putting you to sleep with this intro, let's get to the action. For the gear on the Angry Beaver, this is another community build, so I won't have an early set to showcase, but the owner of this build recommends not starting as Shockwave until you can get up to that 99 FCR breakpoint. This current setup is at the 163 breakpoint, which is the highest. For the weapon, we have Brimstone Rain for the skills, high cast rate, and huge negative to enemy physical resists. Trang Gloves for the FCR, and this one is slammed with FCR, which you'll need to hit that 163 breakpoint, or at least a ring with FCR on it. Speaking of that, we have two skill rings here, being a Wisp and a BK. Arax for the skills and the FCR. Sandstorm Trek for all of its goodies, and this one has CBF slammed on it. Q Hagens for the skills and the FCR, and this one is socketed with an for the all res. An Ami with two skills, FCR, all res, and a Magic Find slam on it. Holy shit. And then a Jalal's for all the skills, res, and mana after kill. On swap, we do have a mid-rolled CTA with a lidless, and then all of the grand charms are skillers with either life or FHR, and all of the small charms are a solid balance of resistance, life, and Magic Find. As usual, everything here looks like it can be pushed further with corruptions and more sockets, and you can use whatever the hell you want to use. This is just what was provided to us to showcase this insanely powerful build. For the skills that kills, we have 1 point into Lichen and Hunger, and then max Shockwave and all of its synergies, which are Werebear, Twister, and Tornado. We don't have a point into Gust since you can't use it while in bear form, but that's up to you to get it if you really want to. For the remainder of the points, he has 1 point into the Poison Vine and the Healing Vine, and then the rest go into Oak Sage for that slightly nerfed but high bonus life. For the Statatas, there is just barely enough strength to Werebear all of our shit. And then the rest, of course, goes into Vitality. The merc he's using is an Axe 2 Defiance with some very tanky gear and a Reaper's Toll for the amplified damage proc since your Shockwave is all physical. I'm sure you can use an Act 1 Fire Merc with Witchwild to get even more run speed if you wanted to do that instead. The playstyle for this one is actually very easy and feels like a super tanky version of a mix between a Mind Blast Assassin and a Boazon. You buff up, get out your Oak Sage and Vines, and then Shockwave everything until your stash is overflowing with high runes. Hunger comes in very handy when you're trying to speed through maps, as all you have to do is consume a corpse once every 45 seconds to run 45% faster. Since the build is physical, there really isn't too much of a limit to where it can farm, and DADTAUGHTGAMING suggests just avoiding West March and Ancestral Trial due to physical resistance and immunities. I stated this a bit previously, but objectively speaking, this build can clear almost any form of content in the game at a very high pace when compared to everyone else. I put it up on the cow clapometer and it made a Shockwave hitting 3 minutes and 6 seconds, putting it right up at the front of the pack just behind the Plague Javazon. In my opinion, I expected this build to be much clunkier than it is. It's actually one of the smoothest playstyles I've ever messed with doing these videos. Not to mention that you have over 3,000 health, max res, and over 13,000 damage as a caster class. This one is a ton of fun to play and I would highly recommend it. This is getting a 9.5 out of 10 from me. Be sure to like this video as it helps more people see it, and the more people that benefit from this video, the happier Noodle is. I'll have some helpful links in the description as well as a link to my Twitch where I've been streaming a lot of my season's playthrough, so be sure to follow from there. There'll also be a link to the Noodle Gang Discord, which is the best way to keep up to date on anything I'm doing, so don't be a stranger and come on in. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Happy grinding, travelers, and we'll see you next week.